We are going to explore the idea of forces further, and for exploring forces, I introduce an object which I like to call the mysterious box, and it's called the mysterious box because it has some mysterious properties. These properties are of course completely imaginary, and as we study, you will understand why we need the object to have these properties. Basically, it's a box that is infinitely rigid, which means that the object will not deform how much ever force you apply on it from whichever direction. First property. Second property is, unless stated otherwise, this box does not experience any friction with the surface that it is in contact with. Okay, so it can smoothly, without any friction, move in either direction. And of course, it goes without saying that the object can move. And then the other thing is that, which may seem like a little mysterious to you people again, is that the box cannot topple. No matter how you apply the force, whether you are applying the force here or you are applying the force here, or anywhere else for that matter, there will be no toppling taking place. That means the object will not turn. So, having introduced this mysterious box, let us proceed with looking at what happens when we apply forces on this mysterious box. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a force in this mysterious box from this direction. Okay, so there is a force, I call it F1, and that is how you incidentally show forces acting in physics. Okay, so there is a force that is being acted from this direction, and you label it as force F1. I can give some quantity to it. I can say that F1 is equal to, let's say, 10 newtons. Okay. Now, if I want to show another force of, let us say, 20 newtons, and let us say that the force is acting in the opposite direction on the box, then I can show it like this. So this is 10 newtons, right? So 10 newtons is that long. So 20 newtons is going to be that long. So I have another force, F2, acting in that direction, and F2, I can write it here, is equal to 20 newtons. Okay? So now I can ask you the question, if the box now moves because it has no friction, it's not going to get deformed and it's not going to topple. So you can tell me now in which direction will the box move. So I ask you the question whether the box is going to go in this direction or it is going to go in this direction. So where will it go?
Left.
Of course.
Yeah, it will go towards the
Left.
Left.
20 minus 10.
Why do you say that?
And because
F2 is greater than F1.
yeah.
Because there is a force F2 which is acting from this side, which is greater than the force F1. If you like to imagine it, then you can say that a stronger person is pushing from this side and a weaker person is pushing from this side, and the stronger person can push twice as hard as the weaker person.
Yeah.
Comparing
Sir, but the box will resist, no? A bit.
Why will the box resist?
Sir, won't its like force get weakened because of the opposite force?
What opposite force?
So like what I mean is, won't it go a bit slower than 20 newtons, like 10 newtons? No, obviously, because the other side is pushing.
Yeah, so that is not the box resisting, it's the force F1 resisting. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, will the box move? Is that a question for you? Will the box move?
You're asking us?
Yes, sir. It will.
It has to move.
Yeah, obviously it will move.
Why it has to, why it has to move? Well, let us be clear about that. First of all, let us discuss if the box will move or not. Okay. So perhaps you can send your answer in the chat. Will the box move? So that's the question. First question. Can you all answer in the chat now? Okay. So some answers are coming.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
So, why have you drawn the force 2? Why is it more distant than the other force from the box?
Why is it not different? There are two different people.
I'm saying no. I'm saying why is it more distant than the box from compared to the other force?
It's just showing that it's double the F1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I draw the same length, then it's not clear whether this force is greater than this force or not. But if I double the length, then it becomes obvious that this force is greater than that. So this is not showing the place from which the force is being applied. The force is being applied here only. But the thing is that the length indicates the fact that it is twice of the original force.
Oh.
Clear now? Okay, great. So now there is
Sir, I have a little distinct
there is
clarification.
one moment before you ask the question. Amrita, you're saying no, the box won't move. Why will it not move?
I don't know, sir. I think it won't move.
But it's in,
Because you said it's infinitely rigid, and then I think I'm not sure.
but I also said that it does not have any friction. So if something does not have any friction with the floor, then shouldn't it move when you give it a push?
Yeah.
Okay, so therefore it will move. Is it clear or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I can ask, the next question can be asked. Somebody wanted to ask something. Ruhani, I think. Please get into the, one moment. Please get into the habit of stating your name before asking the question. Because I'm looking at the whiteboard, I'm looking at the screen, I'm not able to, your name does not light up when you speak. I'm on speaker view.
Okay, so this is Ruhani.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So you take the same equation, F1 is 10 Newton and F2 is 20 Newton. And if you apply the F1 force right at the box, and if you apply the F2 force thoda sa piche se,
No, no.
then will the
आगे पीछे का कुछ नहीं है. It's like two people are pushing it. Maybe I should make that clear. The situation can be given something like this. So there are two people pushing it. One of them is twice as strong as the other.
Like,
Got it? So the force is being applied on the box from both directions. Only thing is, one side the force is greater. There is no distance involved in this. So can you please answer the second question in the chat? In which direction will it move, to the left or to the right?
So, like left or right from the box?
Yeah. So this direction is left and this direction is right.
So Ishan here.
Yeah.
So like you also have to push the other person, right?
Forget about the other persons. The box will move. That's all. That's all we need.
Where will it move? Fine. Okay.
That is why the whole situation is a little bit of an imagined situation. I told you we have to use thought experiments. So we shouldn't get confused about, अरे इसके पास friction होगा, जब box इसके पास तक आएगा तो ये क्या करेगा? Won't he resist, etc., etc. It's not like that. They have friction with the floor. Only the box does not have friction. So that is why I don't like creating this kind of situation. These are anthropocentric situations. They are not very helpful in examining these. You start thinking about the people and so on. And then what happens is you become Aristotle. Okay, we don't want to be Aristotle, we want to be Galileo.
Newton.
Galileo or Newtonian. Galileo is the first person according to our story, so I stick with Galileo. Okay?
yeah, let's give some credit to Galileo.
Okay, so now I change the question slightly. Instead of writing F1 and F2 both are there, what will anything change if I just write like this?
So Shiv, here can you repeat?
I'm just saying that will anything change if I simply write it like this?
No, sir.
Sir,
Nothing will change.
In the chat, I suppose.
So दूसरे side से कुछ नहीं आ रहा.
Yes. So please look at my question carefully. My question is any change in movement of box? Of course, compared to the previous situation. So if I ask the first question again, what is your answer? Will the box move? Yes.
Yes.
In which direction will it move, left or right?
Left.
Left.
Any change in the movement of box compared to previous situation?
No.
No.
Okay, so therefore, what has happened is we have created a force, F net force. We call it net force. Okay, which means that
Sir, I didn't understand why isn't there any change in the movement of the box?
Maths.
no, that people who thought about it have said it. Now you are saying you don't get it. So can somebody who thought that the answer is no, there won't be any change, can you please answer that question?
So,
Yeah.
can I?
Anybody can answer.
So like when it's 20 and 10, there's like 10, like when you subtract 20 minus 10, the remainder is 10. But like what remains? 10 and 10, right? So it's equal. So think of it like a base, and uske upar there's like something raised, and then you remove the raised part, so it's still the base, right?
Yeah, so it's like the same thing, like
Ah,
yeah, I got it. Yeah.
it's the same thing. Okay, and that is what is important in physics. You can have a dozen forces acting on it, but eventually what you have to see is that what will be the resulting net force on the object, and for that you have to, obviously in this case, you have to say 20 minus 10, 20 Newton minus 10 Newton will be equal to 10 Newton. Now wait, there is some small issue over here. Both forces were 10 Newton and 20 Newton. Sorry, 20 Newton and 10 Newton, right? Now suddenly why did you subtract this?
Sir, because it would
Then
move
opposite
10
direction.
Newton. Because 20 and 10 will cancel out each other, like they will.
Sir,
Sir, I thought of
Yeah.
it as like a number line.
Ah, exactly. So you have to consider it as a number line. So naturally then, if you are subtracting 10 from 20, that means the direction told us. See, one force was acting from this side and one force was acting from this side. So you had to say that now, since this force is greater, the object will move in this direction towards the left. So therefore, I have to subtract the effect of 10 Newton from this side from that 20 Newton. So you say 10 Newton, but this is not enough information. Okay. So to give clear information, you have to say the net force is 20 Newton towards left. Only then you give the clear answer to the question. Am I correct?
Sir, what exactly
Yeah.
is the force? Is it like the Newtons?
Total force.
It's the total force applied.
Yeah.
So
Total.
that's being like
Well, actually, we shouldn't say total force because if I,
unit of force.
Newton is the unit of force. Please refer to the previous class's video. Okay, 1 Newton is the force that is applied because of Earth's gravity when you hold a 100-gram object in your hand. So the 100-gram object is roughly the weight equivalent of an
Apple.
average sized apple. So if you have an apple in your hand, unfortunately with red leaves, then the apple, which is approximately 100 grams, is pulled down by gravity. Okay, with a force that is equal to approximately 1 Newton. I should say approximately. Okay, so that was an definition of Newton, a sort of working definition of a Newton that I had given. So I'm using that definition over here.
Sir,
So now to move on a little bit, if I tell you there are two forces, so I'm changing the situation entirely, forget about all of these things.
Sir,
Yes,
Shiv here.
please.
You can like also think of it as like a score of a football match. For example, A scores 5 and B scores 1. You can say A scores 4 and B is equal to 0.
The net lead is therefore 3 in
Yeah.
favor of B.
Hmm.
Okay, so if I say that there are two forces acting on this object, okay, let us get rid of all of these things. Okay, there are two forces, F1, 30 newtons now, and F2, 50 newtons. Or, okay, let's make it interesting. There are two forces, F1 and F2, both are equal to 30 newtons. Now, both these forces act on this object. Okay, and I ask you the same questions again. Question number 1, is there movement? What is your answer to that question?
Yes.
No.
No.
No
No, sir.
movement.
No.
Net force is 0.
No.
Net force 0.
No. No. Cancel out.
Think again, please consider carefully again. Two forces, 13 newtons each, are acting on an object. Is there movement?
sir,
And
is it like
Depends on which direction.
arrows?
people are saying no, there won't be any change. But
Depends on where it's coming.
exactly.
Yeah.
Direction matters.
Now people are saying, well, there won't be any movement, and some other people are saying, I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know in which direction the forces are acting. Okay, why? Because there is now a variety of situations that are possible. I can say the force of 30 Newton is acting from this direction, okay, and this direction. Then your answer will be no, there is no movement. But if I change this and I say that F1 and F2 both are acting in the same direction, right? Then
there'll be
Then yeah.
Then it'll move.
Then
There will be 60 Newton.
yes, because the resultant force will be 60 Newton.
Go to the right.
So, no, there is nothing right or wrong. I have not given the situation.
No. If
So
you go to the right side, sir.
it will go towards the right, yes. So your answer to this question over here should be then not enough
Depends. Like,
information.
information.
Okay, you do not have enough information to answer that question. You can say it depends upon which direction the forces are acting on it. All right. So we come to the fact that forces are a kind of quantity, right, where the direction of the force is very, very important for you to say anything conclusive. Is there movement? I don't know, not enough information. Left or right? I can ask this question also. Left or right? Not enough information, same answer again. Okay, so therefore without giving direction to forces, it is impossible to therefore say what will be the effect of the force. Such quantities are given a special name in physics. They are called as vector quantities. Okay, vector quantity.
Where there's not enough information.
Yes, because there is two pieces of information that you require. Okay, like for example, I can also say that there are two forces F1 and F2 acting on the object. Okay, so I can say here is a force F1 and here is another force F2. Okay, again I ask you, is there movement? All right.
What's the magnitude of the force?
Exactly. Now what has happened is you do not know how much is F1 and how much is F2.
Yeah, then you can no, not enough information.
Okay, your answer will be not enough information to answer the question. So such kind of quantities require two pieces of information. One is the quantity, that is 100 Newton, 10 Newton, 40 Newton, something, whatever, you have to give that information. And the other thing is direction, left or right. In our case, we'll stick with left or right. Without both these pieces of information, that means you need both these pieces of information to be able to predict what is going to happen. Without both the information, you will not be able to conclusively say anything about what is going to happen. So such quantities are called as vector quantities. Okay. Now you may ask, but isn't all quantities like that? Isn't everything like that? Anything that you measure? No, not quite. Say for example, if I say that I walked today, I'm going to walk now shortly to the dining hall, a distance of about 100 meters. Okay. And then from the dining hall, I'm going to come back to the class because I have another class at 2 o'clock. I'm going to come back another 100 meters. So I can say, what is the total distance that I walked?
200 meters.
So the answer is 200 meters, correct? There is no question. Of course, I'm going to the dining hall, coming back over here. So you can say you didn't walk anything. I would say that that's not right. I walked 200 meters. The distance that I walked is 200 meters. Similarly, for example, mass. So I am, let us say that each one of these markers is about what? 30 grams. Okay. Now I have 60 grams.
60.
I have 90.
90.
Okay. Now you don't need to ask if each marker is 30 grams and I have 3 markers in my hand, how many grams is it together? You don't have to ask in what direction. Direction क्या होता है mass के लिए कोई direction नहीं है. It's a sum total of all the 3 masses, 900 grams. Sorry, 90 grams.
90.
Okay.
The direction is towards the earth, right?
Sorry? No. That doesn't. What if I go on the moon? What if I am in space where there is no gravity? It's still
Not enough information.
No, you can't say not enough information. I gave you all the information. One is 30 grams. So if there are 3, then it is equal to 90 grams. There is nothing about information required over here.
So, but you don't know if you're in space.
Sir, but in this, is the quantity 3 or 30 grams?
Please,
Sir,
shout.
yeah, I guess I guess where you are, it also depends, because in space,
Can you people please not shout over each other? That's not nice. That's not right. If you have a question, please say I have a question. Just if I'm not able to see, just say I have a question.
Sir, I have a question.
But there were other people before you, Sneh.
Sir,
Sorry, sir.
You were going to answer my thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are all there who wants to ask a question? See, what I'm trying to say, first listen completely to what I'm trying to say. if I am saying that mass, and what is mass? Mass is the amount of matter that is contained. It's a measure of the matter that is contained in an object. So if I say the mass of each marker is 30 grams, okay, then whether this marker is on Earth or in Moon or in Venus or out there in space where there is very little or no gravity, the amount of matter that is contained in these three is going to be equal to 90 grams regardless. You don't have to ask in what direction. Okay.
How do you measure mass?
That's an entirely different question. We will come to that when we distinguish between mass and weight. But just if you are able to count the number of atoms or molecules that it contains.
So you should say 100 atoms, 1 billion atoms, right?
No, but I am talking about a specific quantity called mass, which is of course measured by using forces. I'm not saying that is not, you know that already. So if you measure your mass and let's say you're 40 kilograms, if you don't lose a single molecule in going from here to Moon, then your mass is going to be exactly the same on Moon as well.
Weight and mass.
The force that you apply because of gravity can vary. This can vary on Moon. Okay?
Newton.
Yeah. So therefore, these kind of quantities like mass and length,
speed.
No, speed I won't go to now. These quantities are called as scalar quantities. Okay, scalar quantities require only magnitude, only quantity. We call it magnitude, but for the time being, I'll stick to call it quantity. Direction is not required. So if you understood nothing except the fact that quantities are vector and scalar quantities, vector quantities are quantities in which you need both the quantity and the direction in order to predict something. That is known as a vector quantity, where you do not need direction for predicting anything. You call it as a scalar quantity. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any doubts or questions, then you can raise.